In the wild, strength is the price of survival. One failed move, and the hunter can become the hunted. No second chances. Only instinct decides who remains. Now, only the strongest will survive the final battle. Nowhere is truly safe. Every creature, great or small, is being watched by something. Life here hangs by the thread of decisions made in a fraction of a second. One wrong step is enough to end it all. No one can run forever. Only the survivor gets to keep moving. The African Savanna holds its breath, waiting for a miracle. On the horizon, heavy clouds begin to gather, carrying the promise of life. The first drops fall sparse and timid, then suddenly merge into a driving rain, waking the parched, cracked earth after months of waiting. Just weeks later, the miracle is plain to see. Green erupts at an astonishing pace. Tender young grass blankets the ground, soft and rich in nutrients, signaling the start of a season of abundance. But amid this sunlit paradise, an ancient sound suddenly tears through the air. This is no ordinary call. It is a weapon made of sound alone. The roar of a mature male lion. Unlike other big cats, which have triangular vocal cords, lions possess vocal cords that are nearly square in shape. A special evolutionary structure that lets them produce tremendous volume without expending excessive energy. That roar can travel roughly 5 miles, 8 kilometers across the open plains. The low-frequency sound waves do not just move through the air, they ripple through the very ground itself. It is a declaration of supreme authority, etched deep into the biology of this animal. High testosterone levels and the majestic dark mane reinforce that dominant status, both tied to health and reproductive success in the male. As daylight spreads across the plains, the appearance of apex predators marks one thing clearly. The savanna's great feast has officially begun. The cheetah does not need to hide in the brush. It stands in the open, exposed under the full light of day, its body coiled tight, like a bow drawn to its limit. Every muscle along that lean frame is the product of millions of years of evolution, primed for an explosive burst of speed that almost nothing else on land can match. Its amber eyes lock onto a Thompson's gazelle grazing near the edge of the herd, separated from the group. Small, but astonishingly quick. Then, in an instant that shatters the stillness, the cheetah bursts forward, a blur of muscle wrapped in dust. In under 20 seconds, it reaches a staggering 75 mph, 120 kilometers per hour. Each stride covers 23 to 26 feet, 7 to 8 meters. To achieve this, its spine flexes like a whip, while its long tail spins continuously like a rudder, keeping the body balanced through high-speed turns. The gazelle reacts instantly, unleashing a series of instinctive zigzags, a tactic meant to wear down its pursuer. It is not betting on speed. It is betting on endurance, trying to stretch the chase beyond the cheetah's brief window of explosive power. Under the scorching heat, the two animals streak across the plains. Nothing remains now but the raw instinct to survive and the will to endure. Dust swirls in the golden light. The chase reaches its decisive moment. For the cheetah, every hunt is a gamble that burns through an enormous reserve of energy. Failure is not an option. It needs food for itself and for the cubs waiting nearby. One final lunge. The two bodies collide in a cloud of dust, and in that instant, the gazelle's fate is sealed. Life is sustained through death. Beneath the vivid skies of the rainy season order on the savanna is upheld by the harshest of all laws, the law of the apex predator. Food is more plentiful now than ever. But every passing moment remains a relentless contest of strength, speed, and the hidden instincts of the hunters. This display of power and speed is only the opening chapter. Because as the rains begin to thin, and as the sun grows fiercer with each passing day, these master hunters will face a challenge far more terrifying than any before: the exhaustion of life's very source. The brutal dry season is tightening its grip on the exhausted savanna. Across the cracked earth, survival continues to unfold as a relentless contest of timing, strength, and opportunity. A giant reptile that once ruled the muddy water has made a dangerous mistake. It has wandered too far from its aquatic fortress, and on dry ground, the heavy armor that protects its body becomes a burden. Every movement costs more energy, every turn comes more slowly, and in wild Africa, isolation can become an invitation to danger. A coordinated group of lionesses is already closing in. Slowly and carefully, the circle tightens around the stranded reptile. Yet, an extraordinary escape should never be mistaken for the normal outcome of such encounters. Nature rarely follows a single script, and not every confrontation ends the same way. If a true battle were to unfold here, which side would still be standing at the end? A powerful team of lionesses working as one, or a solitary monster built to dominate the water. Keep watching, because what comes next leaves little room for mercy. Across the open grasslands, survival can sometimes be reduced to a simple equation of numbers. A plains zebra stands exactly 4.5 feet tall and can weigh as much as 771 pounds. Its hearing is extremely sensitive, while its eyes provide a field of view approaching 360 degrees, allowing it to monitor danger from almost every direction. Its hind legs are weapons in their own right, and a single kick can deliver exactly 3,000 newtons of force, enough to inflict serious injury on a predator. For one lioness, hunting alone such prey can be beyond reach. Today, however, she is not alone. This time, the hunters arrive as a team. In wild Uganda, body size does not always matter as much as strategy. An average lioness weighs only around 286 pounds, several times less than the massive prey she may attempt to bring down. Yet the responsibility for hunting falls mainly on the females. Male lions are larger and slower, and their thick manes can cause the body to retain additional heat during intense physical activity. That places much of the burden of the hunt on the faster and more agile lionesses. The hunt begins. The pride spreads into a fan-shaped formation. Now the target is chosen, and one zebra has drifted away from the protection of the herd. Powerful muscles in the hindquarters contract explosively, driving their bodies forward as the trap closes. Then comes the impact, fast, violent, and decisive. They must control the zebra before its strength can turn the struggle against them. Canines measuring exactly 3.1 inches clamp around the airway, while bite force reaches exactly 650 psi. The purpose is not to tear the prey apart, but to restrict breathing. Exactly 5 minutes pass. The struggle ends, and food is now available for the exhausted pride. But the savanna never remains still for long. As the sun climbs higher and temperatures quickly rise beyond 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and the entire landscape enters a harsher rhythm. The air becomes hotter and drier. Harsh sunlight washes across the cracked ground, while the waterholes lose the fragile calm of dawn. Mud from the bottom is constantly stirred by dozens of groups of zebras, wildebeest, and buffalo arriving one after another to drink. Within minutes, clear water becomes a cloudy mixture of sediment movement and the heavy breathing of hundreds of thirsty animals. Yet beneath that murky surface, calm exists only in appearance. At long-established waterholes, especially around the Okavango Delta and southern Botswana, enormous Nile crocodiles have been recorded. Adults measuring more than exactly 13.1 feet can remain almost completely motionless beside muddy banks, with only the eyes and nostrils rising slightly above the surface. Nothing else needs to move. A single upward strike delivered at the precise instant the antelope lowers its head to drink, may be enough to drag the victim beneath the water. This ancient predator has refined ambush into an extraordinary biological strategy. The moment an antelope bends toward the surface, its ability to detect and avoid an attack becomes severely limited. From below, the crocodile can erupt upward at speeds reaching exactly 39 feet per second, pulling prey into the water before the victim has time to respond. Nile crocodiles do not depend on long pursuits. They conserve energy, hide weight, and strike only when the moment is right. With a body that can exceed exactly 16.4 feet in length and weigh more than 1,543 pounds, a fully grown crocodile has enough power to drag a large zebra into the water within seconds. Yet great size does not prevent extraordinary stillness. Its rough earth-colored skin and elongated body allow it to disappear against the dark mud below. where sunlight penetrates poorly and nearby noise masks the subtle signs of movement. The crocodile becomes part of the water itself until the water suddenly attacks. A hippopotamus enters with the confidence of an animal that seems to believe the pool belongs to it. Despite appearances, a hippo does not truly swim like a fish. Its enormous body travels along the muddy bottom, pushing forward and creating broad waves across the surface. Between these two giants, there is no friendship, but there does not need to be constant war either. At least not while both sides respect the space between them. An adult hippopotamus is too large to be easy prey, while a Nile crocodile is too dangerous to ignore. They exist like two powerful neighbors, forced to share the same water, usually avoiding direct confrontation, unless circumstances remove every other option. As darkness settles over the African savanna, the leopard becomes one of the most effective hunters around the waterholes. In Hwange National Park in Zimbabwe, studies have shown that large herbivores, such as buffaloes, giraffes, and kudas, tend to stay farther from shrinking waterholes when lions are nearby, especially at night. For the leopard, these same areas can become ideal hunting grounds. Unlike lions, the leopard hunts alone. It depends on darkness camouflage and patience rather than group strength. Its golden brown coat covered with irregular rosettes helps it disappear among bushes, tree trunks, rocks, and shadow. An adult male can weigh exactly between 66 and 143 pounds, with powerful muscles concentrated through the front of the body. Its senses are equally important. Behind the retina lies the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer that improves vision in very low light. This allows the leopard to detect prey when many other animals struggle to see clearly. The leopard is also an exceptional climber. Razor-sharp, retractable claws grip bark, while powerful shoulder muscles allow it to launch itself vertically up to exactly 19.6 feet in a single bound. This ability gives it access to prey in trees and provides a safe place to protect a kill. Its hunting strategy is built around patience. The leopard can approach slowly until only a few feet remain and then accelerate to exactly 37 in a sudden burst. It attacks with a powerful leap and usually delivers a deep bite to the throat or the back of the neck. After a successful hunt, the leopard can drag prey, weighing exactly twice its own body weight into a tree. This keeps the carcass away from lions, spotted hyenas, and African wild dogs, and allows the leopard to feed with less competition. Its diet is highly flexible, ranging from insects, rodents, birds, and fish, to larger prey such as antelopes and reedbucks. In dry regions near the Kalahari Desert, it can survive largely on moisture obtained from prey meat or succulent plants. Camera traps in South African reserves, such as Kruger and Sabi Sand, have recorded leopards hunting during both day and night, although their highest activity commonly occurs around dawn and dusk. Their success comes from a powerful combination of camouflage, night vision climbing ability, patience, and explosive attack. The Great Migration is often celebrated as the eternal heartbeat of East Africa, a biological cycle that refuses to halt. Yet the years 2024 to 2026 have introduced erratic climatic shifts, redrawing the ancient paths between the Serengeti and the Masai Mara. Instead of completing the full loop into Tanzania, fragmented groups now pivot or linger in private conservancies, adapting to the unpredictable rainfall. Flexibility. This is their answer to a changing sky. Within this colossal movement, a peculiar alliance forms. Despite their overwhelming legion of 1.5 million individuals, wildebeests are notoriously poor navigators. They rely on the zebra, the living compasses of the plains. Zebras possess a formidable spatial memory, recalling old river bends and lost trails to guide the massive groups. In return, the wildebeests offer an unparalleled olfactory radar. They can smell rain and moist earth from up to 50 kilometers or 31 miles away, steering the unified herd toward fresh pastures. This synergy is written into the very grass they consume. Zebras use their sturdy teeth to shear the tough, fibrous upper stalks. The surface is cleared. This reveals the tender, moisture-rich shoots below, a perfect feast for the wildebeests. They are an inseparable biological engine. Often dismissed as simpletons, wildebeests are actually the supreme ecological architects of the savanna. Their sheer numbers generate a gravitational pull on the ecosystem. Their continuous vocalizations giving them the name gnu act, as an invisible tether, keeping every individual connected when dust and heat waves obliterate visibility. Survival demands specialized engineering. Slender, enduring legs allow them to traverse immense distances with minimal energy waste. A newborn requires a mere 7 minutes to find its stride, and match the thunderous pace of the herd. To delay is to die. At the banks of the Mara River, collective intelligence overwrites individual hesitation. No single leader signals the plunge. The sheer physical pressure of the millions behind them reaches a critical tipping point, pushing those at the edge into the crocodile-infested waters. An unstoppable biological domino effect. Devouring 4,000 tons of grass daily, wildebeests act as strategic mowers. Their grazing forces the flora to regenerate faster and richer in protein. They operate as mobile fertilization plants, dropping nutrients that shield the soil from degradation and suppress intense wildfires by clearing dry brush. They are the lifeblood fueling lions, leopards, and hyenas. Yet to steer this immense energy, the roaring engine requires the navigational brain of the zebra. Roughly 300,000 striped vanguard riders hold the survival keys the wildebeests lack. This silent pack begins in the gut. Wildebeests are ruminants. Zebras are hindgut fermenters capable of processing the driest, coarsest stalks. A masterful division of resources. Furthermore, zebras carry a topographic map in their minds. They remember reliable waterholes from years past without a single storm cloud in the sky. With eyes positioned laterally and exceptional night vision, they maintain a 360-degree surveillance grid. When the black and white stripes accelerate, it is a silent alarm for the thousands behind them. At the Mara River, while wildebeests freeze in dread, the zebras break the stalemate. Cautious but decisive, they carve a path through the violent currents, triggering the mass crossing and leaving the bloody remnants to the opportunistic hunters waiting on the shores. Before the ultimate shadow of the predators falls a smaller, more delicate rhythm of survival steps onto the stage, the Thompson's gazelle. They avoid the frantic crowds. They are the last to arrive. This is a masterclass in nutritional strategy. With the tall, coarse stems devoured by zebras and the mid-level greens stripped by wildebeests, the nutrient-dense base layer is finely exposed. These microgreens of the savanna are the exact prize the Thompson's gazelle seeks. They flourish on the high-protein scraps the giants unintentionally leave behind. Built for this niche, they are evolutionary speedsters. Wagering their lives on breathtaking agility, they execute sharp turns at 90 kilometers per hour, equivalent to 56 miles per hour. When pursued by a cheetah, they launch into the air in a psychological display known as stotting. Not panic, a calculated mockery. I am in my prime, do not waste your breath. Their caution peaks at the Mara River. Unlike the blind rush of the massive herds, they wait. Fragile and light a strong current or a careless bump means instant departure from the living. They linger until the waters calm and the crocodiles are gorged, seeking out the shallowest stretches. Often, if the Serengeti remains fertile, aerial surveys show these expert risk managers bypass the terrifying crossing entirely. As the tiny foragers finish, another sentinel emerges on the termite mounds, the tawpy. While wildebeests endure a punishing 10,000-mile or 16,093-kilometer loop, the tawpy rely on geographic cunning. In the year 2026, field records confirm many tawpy groups in the Masai Mara only migrate locally, following moisture from the plains to the high hills. They conserve energy, blending into the surging wildebeest crowds for protection while feasting on the freshly trimmed pastures. The dominant males stand tall on their mounds, acting as long-range radars for the entire ecosystem. But this tranquility is fleeting. The true trial awaits beneath the murky surface of the Mara River. The Nile crocodile. Prehistoric leviathans reaching over 5 meters or 16.4 feet in length and weighing nearly 1 metric ton, roughly 2,204 pounds. Many of these armored veterans have prowled these waters for 60 years, memorizing every bend and fatal crossing point. Their dominance is rooted in absolute patience. With an incredibly low metabolic rate, they can fast for a full year. They bask and wait for the great migration, the only season of plenty. In a single chaotic feast, one giant can consume an amount of meat equal to 20% of its body weight. This massive intake of fat sustains them until the next cycle. Lacking the ability to chew, they unleash a biomechanical nightmare, the death roll. Gripping their prey, they spin violently, utilizing raw centrifugal force and torque to instantly tear joints and tissues apart. In 2026, unpredictable water levels have turned the fast-moving Mara into a conveyor belt of doomed wildebeests. Crocodiles share the massive carcasses, using each other's weight to generate the tearing rotational force. Possessing the highest stomach acid concentration in the animal kingdom, they dissolve everything from flesh to shattered hooves, leaving the riverbed spotless. Yet along the shallows, the final cleanup falls to the savanna's darkest butler, the marabou stork. Resembling an elegant hunched undertaker in a classic tuxedo, this bird commands the aftermath. Boasting a colossal wingspan of 2.9 meters or 9.5 feet and towering at 1.5 meters or 4.9 feet, they easily dominate the scavenging vultures. Their featherless heads are an evolutionary triumph, allowing them to plunge deep into carcasses without harboring deadly bacteria. The vibrant pink air sac is a sophisticated thermal regulator, not a food pouch. Armed with a beak like a stone chisel, they pierce the toughest hides. As mobile biological incinerators, they eradicate the threats of anthrax and plague, ensuring the health of the plains. Ornithologists in Masai Mara have noted their sharp intellect. In 2026, they now trail wildfires to snatch fleeing insects or loiter near crocodiles to steal flying meat from the spiral surge. When their pink sacs inflate and they look to the horizon, they sense the atmospheric shift. They are the silent forecasters of the rain, signaling that the ultimate source of life is returning to drive the great migration onward. The Serengeti, a realm of pursuing shadows and unforgiving sun. But look higher. Above the dust and desperation of the earth, another dynasty reigns supreme. The Empire of Wings. Around the Mara River basin and the harsh alkaline lakes, every ripple is a promise and a trap. Enter the African fish eagle, an avian emperor adorned in stark contrast, sporting a snowy white head over a deep chocolate body. He does not merely observe, he commands. His piercing cry is the very voice of Africa, a territorial decree echoing through the valleys. He is an instrument of absolute precision. Perched high, he marks a silver flash below. He dives, weaponizing gravity. Reaching lightning fast speed, he thrusts his talons forward like iron pincers. Beneath his feet lie the spicules, tiny, rigid, and sturdy spikes designed to lock onto slippery scales. Once grasped, nothing escapes. Fish, turtles, or water birds all fall under his jurisdiction. He is the ultimate debt collector of the waters. Where the eagle acts as a solitary ruler, others wage war as a legion. The great white pelican. A fleet of living sails, their pure white plumage flushing vibrant pink as the breeding season takes center stage. Do not let their heavy silhouettes deceive you. They are masters of the blockade. They move as one breathing phalanx. Beating their colossal wings in unison against the surface, they churn the water, turning peace into chaos and herding fish into the unforgiving shallows. There is no retreat. Then the abyss opens. The vibrant yellow gular pouch expands, capturing a staggering 13 liters, equivalent to 3.4 gallons of water in a single scoop. This is not a storage unit, it is a filter of fate. Contracting the pouch, they force the massive water pressure out, leaving only the desperate silver thrashing of the catch before it is embraced by the darkness of the esophagus. In the murky edges, another specialist relies on touch rather than sight. The African spoonbill. A ghostly white phantom with a vividly red face and legs. Look closely at its evolutionary marvel, a long, flattened bill flaring into a spoon. It does not hunt with its eyes. It scans destiny. Sweeping the bill through the mud in steady mechanical arcs, it utilizes a highly sensitive neural network hidden deep within the beak. A sophisticated living radar. The faintest vibration from a crustacean or a tiny fin pulse triggers an instantaneous mechanical snap. In this empire, the final verdict often comes not from a piercing gaze, but from a microscopic touch in the dark. Yet the most lethal threats often arrive in the smallest packages. Measuring a mere 13 centimeters or 5.1 inches, the malachite kingfisher is a living gemstone carved from turquoise and fire. Crowned with a black striped crest, it perches completely motionless. A statue of lethal patience. The water's surface is a master of deception, bending light to distort the truth of what lies beneath. But the kingfisher's eyes possess the biological mastery to override refraction. It calculates the true coordinates with millimeter precision. A feathered arrow launched from the bow of instinct. It pierces the surface a blur of orange and blue, emerging with an insect or fish before the ripples can even form. A vibrant microscopic executioner, proving its undisputed elite status. As the dawn shatters the night of the Verreaux's eagle owl, a more radiant dynasty ignites the acacia canopy. An entity draped in the colors of dreams, but armed with the instincts of a seasoned warrior. The lilac-breasted roller, a living masterpiece of the woodlands. At least 8 vivid shades interweave on its small frame, a proud lilac chest, a striking turquoise belly, a stoic brown back and wings of deep velvet blue. Dressed as a nobleman, it carries the heart of a conqueror. It perches on parched branches like an immovable sentry. The moment a reptile or insect breaks cover, elegance vanishes. It plunges with direct, forceful velocity, striking the earth and carrying its prize back to the branch for the final conclusion. Then pride takes flight. The name roller is a declaration of aerial supremacy. In this fierce kingdom, beauty is not fragile. It is a psychological weapon, a display of unyielding might. If the roller embodies extravagant dominance, another class of avian quietly constructs an empire of meticulous detail, the weaver birds. Small as sparrows, they possess the ambition of master architects. During the breeding season, the males don brilliant golden formal suits accented by mysterious black masks to charm their own kind. The females wisely remain in simple grayish-brown coats, blending into the unforgiving background, where standing out often guarantees an early departure from this life. They operate as a unified entity, Sweeping through the thickets in massive swarms, they harvest seeds and insects, finding invincibility in numbers. But their true genius is suspended high above. Beneath the vicious thorns of the acacia branches, an engineering miracle unfolds. Using only their beaks and feet with no blueprints, they weave life together. Every blade of grass is knotted, every leaf interlaced. They craft intricate pouch-shaped nests suspended in midair. These are not mere nests, they are strategic fortresses. Hung from the outermost thorn-covered tips, they mock predatory reptiles, turning a snake's assault into an exercise in futility against the spiked barriers. The impossibly complex knots show an amazing resilience against the fierce storms of the savanna. In a kingdom ruled by tearing fangs and claws, the weaver bird secures its legacy not through force, but through persistence and the tightest bonds in nature. On the north side of the largest termite island in the region, a herd of elephants is at work. They are building. The African elephant is the only species possessing the immense weight and sheer muscle required to shatter the raised earth banks, separating islands and channels. Humanity spends decades and millions of dollars constructing irrigation systems. The Okavango Delta lets the elephants do it entirely for free. And the outcome is far superior. For the elephants follow the natural gradient of the water, not the rigid blueprint of an engineer. Prey stands a mere 80 meters or 262 feet away. Yet separating Kasai the lion from the Lechwe herd is a channel 1.5 meters or 4.9 feet deep. A lion weighing 190 kilograms or 419 pounds, submerged in 1.5 meters of rushing water, is no longer a lethal threat. It is simply a heavy object swept sideways by the relentless current. The alpha bull of Mosi, the hippo family, is present. He stands like a living fortress, packing 3,000 kilograms or 6,614 pounds of mass and wielding 4 canine teeth that span 50 centimeters or 19.7 inches in length. Above the surface, the Misima pack operates under a law of iron discipline. 11 African wild dogs, one absolute rule: no one eats alone. This pact is a masterpiece of resource conservation. Their hunting success rate reaches a staggering 80%, the absolute highest among all large predators on the continent. Not through sheer strength, not through blinding speed, but because they never chase in isolation. In the heart of the flood season, when thick mud drags down the pace of every living creature, the relay tactic of the Misima pack remains entirely untouched. They dedicated 5 days to mapping the new channel territories before launching a single flood season hunt. 5 days strictly observing the flow of the currents, identifying shallow crossings, and memorizing the daily drinking routes of the impala. Misima understands the flooded terrain far better than any newly arrived competitor. From day 6 onward, their success rate skyrockets, fueled by an immense accumulation of daily data. Kasai must cross the channel to claim the distant shore. In the dry season, this is a brief 20-meter swim through shallow water. Now the channel has swollen 3 times wider and 1 meter or 3.3 feet deeper. The hippo pod barricades the exact path between start and destination. Kasai has no choice. The lion is no longer the master of this domain. The Cape buffalo has evolved to a threshold that no African predator dares to confront alone. A mature bull carries a massive frame of 700 to 900 kilograms, translating to 1,543 to 1,984 pounds. Their iconic boss horn demands 8 years to fully harden into a lethal shield. A full velocity charge from an 800 kilogram or 1,764 pound buffalo delivers roughly 2 metric tons of concentrated destructive force. Within the herd, mature bulls rotate sentry duty in a seamless natural rhythm. When one detects danger, it freezes and locks its gaze on the threat. Within 20 seconds, every beast in the vicinity pivots to face the exact same focal point. This entire defense grid is activated through a silent network of reading head orientations and body postures. As the flood peaks, the herd retreats to the highest elevated grounds. Here, 200 to 500 massive bodies are compressed onto a dry surface that has shrunk to less than 20% of its original size. The entire herd is packed within a 100-meter or 328-foot radius, a drastic shift from roaming across 5 square kilometers or 1.9 square miles. The reaction time from threat detection to full herd mobilization drops drastically. Lion success rates against the buffalo plummet, even though the prey is packed tighter than ever. Closer proximity breeds a denser, vastly more reactive collective defense. The lion pride attempts a hunting strategy refined over countless dry seasons. 2 flanks close in from perpendicular angles. The panicked prey flees from one side straight into the waiting jaws of the other. In the dry months, this tactic yielded a 30% success rate against isolated wanderers at the edge of the herd. Kasai slides into ambush position. The wind is perfect. The distance matches every lesson learned on dry earth. But the herd does not fracture like scattered prey. The pride executes the maneuver flawlessly, yet the buffalo refuse to panic. The lead bull lowers his massive boss horn and steps forward. It is the declaration of war. 300 buffalo advance in total unison, forming a terrifying wall of approximately 200 metric tons. They do not chase the felines into the water. Annihilation is not the goal. The objective is simply to force the lions beyond their herd safety radius. The moment Kasai is pushed across that invisible boundary, the herd stops and turns away. This defeat exacts no immediate physical toll on the pride. Lions can fast for 14 days and still unleash their full predatory might. However, the ecological consequence is severe. First, the buffalo occupy the highest ground, which is precisely where the impala and zebra gather. Being banished beyond the 50-meter or 164-foot radius of the buffalo deprives the lions of 80% of their potential prey. Second, the buffalo effectively redraw the hunting map of the predators without endless bloodshed. The buffalo hold the high ground. The impala and zebra learn to anchor themselves within the shadow of that safety. Kasai concludes this flood season bearing the highest number of defeats in a short lifetime. 5 weeks remain until the dry season returns. Long-term behavioral research in Botswana reveals a staggering truth. Lions that endure at least one complete flood cycle between the ages of 2 and 5 boast a 40% higher survival rate over the next 5 years. Failure is not a loss of capability. Failure is an exposure to intense pressures the dry season simply cannot manufacture. This friction is how a lion builds a mental library of survival-mastering scenarios that pure genetic instinct cannot solve. Banished to the lower grounds, Kasai learns a lesson the dry earth could never teach. The ultimate dominant species is not the one that never falls. It is the one that survives enough defeats to understand exactly why. Next year, when the waters rise again, Kasai will never approach a wall of 300 buffalo from the same distance using the same failed tactic. The Delta grants no mercy to those who refuse to learn, but it never stops teaching. Sunrise over the Masai Mara is a breath of pure magic. In the chilling morning air, the taupi violently shake off the weight of sleep. A few males lock horns, rushing blood into cold muscles, sparking the plains to life. They war for the highest mounds on the earth. This is not just a vantage point. It is a throne of dominance, a stage to summon mates. The vanquished are banished to the lowlands. This aggressive theater sets a fiery tone for the day. But the shadow of breakfast always looms on the horizon. At the lion pride's first kill of the morning, the savage hierarchy of power is written in blood. Even though the lionesses orchestrate the exhausting pursuit, the alpha male immediately seizes the right to the first bite, fueling his massive frame to maintain his reign. Sometimes the king wields this privilege as a weapon of social discipline. Should a female reject his advances, he can ruthlessly banish her from the very carcass she pulled to the ground. This iron-fisted rule guarantees that his word is absolute law during his tenure, but the crown of a male lion is heavy and fleeting. On average, a monarch only grips power for 2 to 3 years before being violently overthrown by younger, more ferocious blood. When the adolescent males in the pride reach 3 years of age, their own father exiles them to the wilderness to prevent inbreeding and crush any seeds of rebellion. For now, the cubs must simply bow their heads and offer comfort to their exhausted mother. The spotted hyena clan has been screaming since the break of dawn. Now the sun dominates the sky, yet the hunting party is nowhere to be seen. A lone male hyena finally returns. He carries a late morning prize in his jaws. The scent of torn flesh is an irresistible magnet, instantly drawing a dominant female from the shadows. This male is doing it all for a chance at a bloodline. Well aware he might not taste a single scrap of his own hard-earned kill, in the hyena empire, the queens rule with absolute terror. The females are massively larger and vastly more aggressive. Males are condemned to a lifetime of grueling submission just to secure their legacy. They must perpetually lower their eyes, tuck their tails, and step away whenever a matriarch approaches. A calculated male transforms into an utterly devoted shadow. He trails his chosen queen for weeks, even months, maintaining a deeply respectful distance while projecting total harmlessness. He even humbles himself to play with her offspring just to beg for favor. A massive price paid to court a tyrant. The ruthless cycle of the spotted hyena begins the second they breathe oxygen. Unlike almost any other mammal, these cubs explode into the world with their eyes wide open and jaws packed with razor-sharp teeth. The war for dominance erupts in the den on day one. To secure the richest milk, these tiny gladiators mercilessly tear into their own siblings. This brutal initiation permanently carves the future hierarchy in stone. For the entire first year, milk is their only salvation. Their stomachs cannot digest solid bone and flesh until they cross the 8-month mark. This total dependency forces the mother to burn every ounce of her energy protecting them before she dares to reproduce again. On the open grass, a shivering tawpy calf is pulled into the light. The moment its hooves touch the dirt, the biological stopwatch begins. The mother offers no immediate comfort. The newborn must prove it deserves to live. A mere 15 minutes after birth, the frail calf must stand and find its balance. Only when it proves its muscular agility does the mother allow it to drink. This brutal urgency is driven by a terrifying biological clock. A female tawpy possesses only a single fleeting day each year to pass on her genes. While the grazers must sprint moments after birth, the apex predators are born into absolute fragility. The impenetrable thickets act as a natural fortress for the newest royalty of the plains. Lion cubs arrive completely blind and devastatingly weak, weighing a mere 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds. They must remain buried in hidden dens for the first 2 months, avoiding the murderous gaze of wandering enemies and the lethal curiosity of older cousins. This is the tightrope of existence. A new life shielded solely by the manic, explosive, protective instincts of a mother. Far across the horizon stretches the absolute dominion of the lion pride. In the Masai Mara, these superfamilies can swell to 20 individuals. True power lies in the unbreakable sisterhood of the lionesses. They forge a fierce matriarchy, bleeding together on the hunt and raising their young as one. Sustaining such an empire demands massive amounts of flesh. The Cape buffalo is a nightmare to kill, yet impossible to ignore. Even when the alphas have suffocated the prey, the young cubs hold back cautiously, learning their place in a world built on violence. The king rarely bleeds for his meals. His duty is the defense of the borders. He endlessly patrols the frontier, marking the earth and unleashing thunderous roars to shatter the confidence of any wandering rival. Everything he does is to guard the throne, ensuring the tiny heartbeats hidden in the grass survive another day. Nature shows no mercy. From the scorched plains of the African Savanna to the flooded channels of the Okavango Delta, from the blistering heat of the Sonoran Desert to the silent nights, where a burrowing owl mimics a rattlesnake to survive, every creature we just witnessed is playing a game with no fair rules. A cheetah burns nearly all its energy reserves on a single chase that might fail. A herd of wildebeest trusts a fragile collective memory to cross a river full of crocodiles. Elephants tear open the earth to build channels that sustain countless other species. No one stands outside this struggle, not even the strongest. But what has kept this ecosystem alive for millions of years is not the power of any single animal. It is the delicate balance between them. Lions keep herbivore populations in check. Hippos carve out channels that feed an entire river system. Marabou storks clean carcasses and prevent disease from spreading. If even one link disappears, if a species is hunted to scarcity, if a wetland is drained, if a river is dammed, the whole intricate machine can collapse. Not in a single day, but quietly generation after generation. And sadly, the pace of human destruction is now outrunning nature's ability to recover. Climate change is disrupting the rains that millions of wildebeest depend on for their migration. Poaching still threatens elephants, the great engineers of the wetlands. Fragmented habitats cut apart by roads, fences, and urban expansion are stealing away the migration corridors animals need to survive the dry season. Nature is not asking for our pity. It is asking for one thing only: space and time to keep its own balance. Conservation does not mean stopping the harsh laws of the wild. Lions will still hunt. Crocodiles will still lie in wait. It means protecting the stage on which these laws have played out for millions of years instead of letting humanity erase it for good. If this film made you feel the raw, breathtaking power of the wild world, help carry that story further. Hitting like and subscribing to this channel is a small way of saying this story deserves to be told again. And this natural world deserves to be protected for the generations who still need to witness it.